there's this concept that I've sort of meditated on that I quite enjoy. And it's this idea that you can use the moon as a way of changing timelines meditationally. So if you have access to looking at the moon at night, I really like the very specific time of the moon cycle when the moon is a crescent, smaller than half of a moon, like kind of not just a teeny sliver, but a medium-shaped sliver. And there's a certain energy to that on a clear night especially, where I liken it to looking at light underneath a doorway. Like imagine like you see a room and you can just see a little bit of light underneath the door, a little strip. And it's kind of like you're peeking through the door, peeking underneath the door. You can kind of see what's on the other side, but you can't. It's just the emanation of what's on the other side that you can glimpse a little sliver of it under the door. So I view it kind of like the crescent moon in the sky is like peeking through a doorway. And it's also like a triangulation, because the moon, if it's a sliver, think about it, the moon is off to the sun is off to the side, on the other side of Earth, and you're seeing the reflection of that, just a sliver of it, obliquely off the moon. So it's kind of like you're peeking at the sun through the crack underneath the door of the moon to see what's around the corner. And I think seeing what's around the corner is like an analogy, representation of like what's to come, the future to come. So, because think about it, the sun is eventually will move into alignment where when you look at the moon, you'll see the full moon or the new moon. And that's when the most powerful energies are there. So it's like whatever the sliver represents, whatever is coming when the alignment of a full moon or new moon comes from around the corner soon in the days, weeks ahead. So I think that the moon is like the second most dramatic body in the sky that everyone sees collectively. We all see it on a cyclical basis, unless you're someone who doesn't look up very much. The sun is arguably the most important thing that we see on a daily basis, but in a way, you can't look directly at the sun, but you can look directly at the moon. So in a way, the moon represents, when you look at the moon, you get a real visceral feeling of your own spacious position in the galaxy. So it's almost like you can look more directly at the sun via the reflection off the moon than you can by looking directly at the sun. The sun, I'm sure, has its own magic that you can use, but for now I'm talking about the moon and this idea. So I view it as like a almost magic way of shifting timelines, because if you look at the sliver of the moon, sliver of the sun's light, that you're peeking, like the doorway metaphor, like you're seeing what's underneath the doorway, the light shining through from underneath the door, that little glimpse. You can't see it, but you can feel it, and that represents what's around the corner, what's to come. It's a way of seeing around the corner without going around the corner. And then the future is not decided. There's many probable futures, so it allows you to say, what future do I want to choose now? What reflection of the sun do I want to see? I'm seeing around the corner into the future. Which future am I seeing from my own spacious awareness of where I'm at right now in the cosmos? So it's interesting because you would think that... So for me, I mean, the reason I was thinking this is because I was talking with someone recently, and they were saying, oh, the full moon's so beautiful. Oh, the moon's so beautiful. Oh, what stage of the moon is most beautiful? And I was thinking, I would want to say, well, the full moon is most beautiful. But then I started thinking, I actually like the sliver moon. There's something really particular about just the percentage of a perfect sliver at the right stage that feels very dynamic to me. It's like you see the moon, you see this celestial body. It reminds you of your place in the spaciousness of the vast void. But at the same time, it suggests what's around the corner. It's kind of like the idea of how a rosebud is more beautiful than a rose flower, because the rosebud suggests a flower. You imagine what the flower looks like opening. It causes you to see the flower in your mind. And then you become the flower rather than just seeing the flower. It's kind of like how a picture of something is more powerful than a photograph, because a photograph just shows it to you. A picture suggests what the non-physical feeling is. So that's an interesting way of thinking about it. The moon, when it's a sliver, suggests what is around the corner and allows you, in your placement to the triangulation of the sun as the center portal of light, and we are also portals of light. So it allows you to triangulate yourself as a portal of light in the oneness of the void to the central sun portal of light, and allows you to then choose what reflection around the corner the future is going to bring to you. So it's a way of kind of potentially aligning yourself with various timelines, playing with time and space. I find it very interesting. It's just a subject that I've been thinking about today, and it all kind of coalesced in my mind as, this could actually be a ritual. This actually could be a teaching to some degree. I mean, as far as I know, there's probably pagan belief systems or naturalesque belief systems or esoteric belief systems that already do this. I mean, it's probably nothing new. So, if you're one of those people that never look up, try looking up. Look into the sky every once in a while, because the sky and the bodies that exist in the sky are some of the things that we all see collectively on a cyclical basis. No matter where you are in the world, you see the moon in the sky at night if it's a clear night. You look up and you say to yourself, I see that moon, and I know that right now so many people around the world are also seeing that same moon, or will in an hour's time, or did an hour ago. We all live in our own environments, we all see our own surroundings, we have our own thoughts and our own feelings. So many of what we experience is not a collective experience, it's our individual experience. And the moon and the celestial bodies, I'm not saying they aren't personal either. There is our own personal connection to them. So in the magic of using the moon and using timelines and looking to the future, and there is a personal level, but there's also this interesting collective level of thinking. Like, if I speak to the moon and I have a relationship with the moon, I'm having a relationship with something that everyone else is also having a relationship with. And we all share a specific quality of that. There's a unifying quality of that. Anyway, I'm happy to share these ideas and journal them to myself and get reflections back. And anyway, thank you.